I just didn't know.
I literally sent it to Miss Gersh though, like this morning, so because I forgot to send it to her yesterday. By the way, we're recording now, FYI, and we'll soon be going live. I figured we'd start early so that
I just didn't know.
I literally sent it to Miss Gersh. Yep, now we're live. Cool. I don't know if other people are here yet, but sorry, we can keep chatting, and I'll keep an eye on the YouTube.
Yes, I just hope people.
Yeah.
It's so much easier too, like than like how because some people really do have transportation issues and like can't but like people can watch.
Unless you're muted. Everyone is muted except.
Oh my God, I was talking.
Yeah, you guys
I was
stay unmuted if you want, or unless you have background noise.
I was gonna respond to Emma. I was like, literally, people can spend people easily spend hours on like TikTok or like Instagram. Spend an hour and a half watching your friends in a production. Like, I don't see the problem.
We just keep building it. We just keep doing it, and hopefully they will come. And hopefully, since it's one that they can watch over and over again, they'll appreciate it. But
oh yeah, I was wondering about that. Is it okay? So my grandparents want to come see it, but because of time difference issues,
it's going to be on the YouTube page. Okay. It'll be live. I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay. So they can just watch it. Okay.
Yeah, because it is the YouTube page that I've built for us is where we do our Holton and Landon improv. And then it's also just a holding site for our productions that we're doing, that we're videotaping and stuff like that. So I'm going to keep them up there, and people can go back there and subscribe and, like as you want. And then they can, watch them again at their own leisure. But hopefully people will come on the Saturday and watch it initially. But we will have a watching party on Saturday, all of us, and we'll hang out together. Hi, Josephine.
Hi.
Cool.
Yes, seniors lead some pre-show traditions. Yes.
Yeah.
Details later.
Yeah, we'll probably get. What are you thinking, Emma? Like 6:30, something like that?
Yes, I was thinking we could just do like a few of like the warm-ups, even though we can't really we won't be like doing it for a show, and just I'll hold you up, possibly try to do Lady Keep It Light.
Oh, that would be fun. Nice.
Oh, that would be really cute. I don't know how that would work with like lag and stuff, but that was
with like tapping in people.
Should we be hearing audio?
So what I was thinking.
Be hearing audio. Hold on a second.
Oh.
We could just do like a few.
Oh, I think it's sorry. Mr. Telly just texted me. I have audio. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves.
I was thinking we could use like the audio that we got made last year of like all of us singing Lady Keep It Light, and then play it, but keep us all muted and just ask people to if you start hearing only a few voices, just to drop out unless you're a senior.
And we could instead of tapping, we could just directly chat them, if that makes sense. So we could be, I don't know, that could be cute. You know how on Facebook you can poke people? Next Zoom update, add that feature,
Yeah, totally. Hey, I've got about 60 people right now. We're going to wait another minute or so. Those of you who are joining us on the YouTube, welcome. This is our Upper School Fall Play Assembly. We'll get it rolling here in just a second, see if we can populate our viewers a few or a little bit more here. I'm understanding from Miss Atelli, she's not hearing anything. So if others are having that problem, please let me know. But I believe, or you could put it in the YouTube chat, as it's already starting to get responses. Actually, I think people are hearing, because Aman already responded about the fact of Lady Keep It Light. She had a few ideas. Apparently, Rayon has some ideas for Lady Keep It Light, Emma. Shout out to Rayon said.
I love you, Rayon. I
miss you, Rayon.
I miss her so much. Also, when I tried it on my computer, I could hear the sound. So
I did too. Miss Atelli just told me she was muted, so it happens to the best of us. Oh, Campbell's here. Let me let her in.
All the things.
All right. Cool. Well, in the interest of time, hi, Campbell.
Hello.
I like your mask and your braids. So in the interest of time, people will keep joining us here as we're going along. Oh, everybody can hear us fine. Good. Again, welcome to our Upper School Fall Play Assembly. This is a very unusual way, but for those of you who are into the arts or even other stuff, this is actually something that's been going along with a lot of other companies and things that I've been seeing going on where, you know, theater companies, movie companies, you know, actors are getting together and having these sorts of panel discussions about shows that they've done, shows that they're working on. There are even other Zoom productions that are happening out in the world, and you will get to see some sneak previews of the scenes from the Upper School Fall Play this during this panel, because that's what we're going to do. And some of these folks haven't even seen this stuff, so I think they're excited to see it as well. But to start off with, let's just go around quick. I imagine most of the upper schoolers know who you all are, but it's good to just remind them. And also we'll tell, how about your name? You are all seniors, so we don't need to say grade. And then you can tell them who you are playing, who your character is, okay? I'm Mr. Robinson, I'm directing the play. For those of you who don't know, I'm also the technical director, theater manager, and I'm the performing arts department chair here at Holton. Emma, let's pitch it to you.
Yes, I'm Emma. I'm playing Titania, the fairy queen. Yeah. Okay, Anushka.
Hi, I'm Anushka. I'm playing Demetrius. Just in order of my screen. AJ?
Hi, I'm AJ, and I am actually not playing anyone. I am a stage manager, so representing the crew.
Which is still important. Super important. Allie, why don't you go?
Okay, I'm Allie, and I am playing Oberon, the Fairy King.
Lucy?
Hi, I'm Lucy, and I am playing Peter Quince.
Cool. Brielle?
Hi, I'm Brielle, and I play Hippolyta.
Josephine?
Hi, I'm Josephine, and I'm playing Bottom, the one who turns into a donkey.
The one who turns into a donkey. Campbell?
Hi, I'm Campbell, and I am playing Moonbeam, one of Titania's fairies.
Cool. So I imagine that a lot of people might know a little bit about this play, but it might be worth us just giving a little bit of background. But I think maybe we could do that in the way of starting a scene. Well, what do you guys think? Do we want to give a little bit of information about a character and then we can watch a scene from them? Or do you want to front load it? Also, one thing I forgot to mention, I am on the YouTube chat. So if people in the audience want to pose a question themselves, I will monitor that and I will pitch it to the group as we go along. But why don't we start off with Allie and Emma. Tell us a little bit about your characters and what roles they do in the play, what their function is, and who they are.
So we are the Fairy King and Queen. At the beginning of the show, we're fighting. We're like majorly fighting, and it's throwing off a lot of things that are happening in nature. Titania, has her fairies. So your Cobweb, Mustard Seed, Moonbeam, those fairies who are lovely. And Oberon has Puck and Robin Goodfellow. They're his kind of two little minions. Throughout the show, Oberon causes a lot of mischief with mostly through his pucks, and casts some spells on some people, Titania included. Emma, do you want to talk a little bit about Titania and what she does?
Yeah, I think you covered most of it, but basically they're like fairy creatures and they're fighting right now. And
what is it they're fighting about again?
They're fighting because I have a little changeling boy who Oberon wants, and they're fighting over this little changeling boy. But
Oberon wants the boy to be his henchman and like be in his kind of group of henchmen. Yeah.
Do you remember what a changeling is? We talked about it a little bit.
A changeling is a human child who is typically stolen by the fairies, but in this case, the boy is the son of one of Titania's like followers. So when his mother died, Titania kind of took the boy as her own, which is why he is called a changeling.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then Campbell, I know you're a fairy too. Do you want to talk about what it's like being one of the fairies? in the crew, in the Titania squad?
Sure. I guess just the main thing that we do is we just kind of follow orders given by Titania, no matter how weird they may seem to us, because I know that we all have different opinions on her love interest, her choice in who she starts to love. But we each also have different powers that sort of have to do with our costume and our look. And yeah.
Cool. And Campbell is also one of our, all the fairies sing. We actually have 2 songs in the play, which we have very special composers who worked with me on the songs. Asma and Anya, who are both Holton students. Asma Pashni and Anya Gupta, and they did some amazing work for me composing music for the show. And Campbell is one of the kind of featured singers, along with Charlie Ryan in the fairy crew that sings some larger portions of the songs that we have throughout the whole show. So cool. All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen. Can I share my screen? I can share my screen. Cool. And I will bring up and we will watch, let's see here, our first clip. Are you guys seeing that? Yeah, those of you in Zoom, you got to unmute. I can't hear you. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So here is one of our clips from the fairies.
And action. Ill met by moonlight, proud Titania. What? Jealous, Oberon? Fairies, skip hence. I have forsworn his bed and company. Tarry, rash wanton, am not I thy lord? Then I must be thy lady. Why art thou here, come from the farthest step of India? But that forsooth, the bouncing Amazon, your buskined mistress and your warrior love, to Theseus must be wedded, and you come to give their bed joy and prosperity. How canst thou thus for shame, Titania, glance at my credit with Hippolyta, knowing I know thy love to Theseus? These are the forgeries of jealousy, and never since the middle summer spring that we on hill and dale, forest or mead, by paved fountain or by rushy brook, or in the beached margin of the sea, to dance our ringlets to the whistling wind. But with thy brawls thou hast disturbed our sport. Therefore the winds piping to us in vain, as in revenge have sucked up from the sea contagious fogs, which falling in the land have every pelting river made so proud that they have overborne their continents. Therefore the oxen therefore stretched his yoke in vain, the plowman lost his sweat, and the green corn hath rotted ere his youth attained a beard. And now the moon, the governess of floods, pale in her anger, washes all the air that rheumatic diseases do abound. And through this distemperature we see the seasons alter. Spring, the summer, the childing autumn, the angry winter, change their wonted liveries, and the mazed world by their increase now knows not which is which. And this same progeny of evil comes from our debate, from our dissension. We are their parents and original. You amend it then, it lies in you. Why should Tanya cross her Oberon? I do but beg a little changeling boy to be my henchman. Set your heart at rest. The fairyland buys not the child of me. His mother was a votaress of my order. Well, often has she gossiped by my side and sat with me on Neptune's yellow sands, when we have laughed to see the sails conceive and grow big-bellied with the wanton wind. But she, with pretty and with swimming gait following, her wound then rich with my young squire, would imitate and sail upon the land, to fetch me trifles and return again, as from a voyage rich with merchandise. But she, being mortal, of that boy did die, and for her sake I rear up her boy, and for her sake I will not part with him.
Cool. So, wait, I got to get back. How do I get back? Now I got to find myself again. Oh, no, stop share. That's what I need to do. All right, there we go. It's like I've never done this before. How long have I been doing on Zoom? So, hey, yeah, woohoo! Nice work, y'all. impressions now that you guys got to see yourselves for the first time. Anybody?
Definitely, this is a very new experience watching myself through Zoom while also knowing that like my reactions being filmed.
Although on the YouTube they don't see your reactions to yourself watching you, so they're just seeing the thing because I'm sharing my screen. So at least I don't think
that makes me feel a little better. But
I know, as a fellow former actor, I always had a hard time watching myself too. But I think you guys are doing great. So.
I also like, especially with the set, like the costumes, like the backdrop, like they blend like so well together. I'm like, yes, it was really awesome to see.
Thank you. Yeah, I was actually, I got 2 comments in the chat from Mr. Sowers, Mr. Wilson, and some other folks talked about, yes, the costumes. My wife, Mrs. Kate Robinson, was the costume designer, and it was actually, I think you guys could also talk about this. This is a wholly unique and weird experience because she didn't do a single measurement with any of you guys, and it takes a lot of trust on our part and a lot of collaboration with you all to really make these things happen. Because for those of you in the audience, what we did is we got measurements from people. Mrs. Robinson created all the costumes, we bagged them all up, and then people came by, picked them up, and then we had an over Zoom costume fittings for each of the actors, kind of showing them how to wear what they needed to wear, and Mrs. Robinson would give them notes. But the actors also had to take a lot of responsibility on themselves for if they needed to adjust things or make alterations or whatnot. And then the same thing with the backdrops. I at first imagined I was going to do just Zoom backdrops, but they have that weird kind of like delay thing and you disappear into it. So I went ahead and we got some inexpensive kind of like tapestries for everybody. And you'll see, those of you in the audience, that each group kind of has their own tapestry. Now everybody goes into the forest, so everybody goes to the forest, but the actors had to work on how to hang and set up their whole rig and set up their whole shooting space and make sure that they had quiet when they were recording. So it's a whole collaborative process in a whole completely different way. Anyone else have some thoughts or reactions from the first scene you got to see?
It's definitely weird, like hearing my voice through the recording, but then also through Zoom again, because it sounds different than like I think my voice actually sounds, which is kind of a weird feeling. And it's also like seeing like because like I can see myself when I'm on Zoom, but then seeing my face and what my face was doing while Emma was doing her very long and amazing speeches is kind of weird, because it's like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing that with my face, but I was. Okay.
Cool. All right. Why don't we jump to another group? Brielle and Anushka. Let's talk about your guys' world, as it were. Brielle, tell us a little bit more about who your character is and what her role is in the play.
So my character is Hippolyta. At the beginning of the play, Hippolyta and Theseus are 3 days away from their wedding, and Theseus is very excited, but Hippolyta is this like amazing warrior queen, Amazon. So she's a little, I don't know, trepidatious, I guess, about her relationship with Theseus because she's used to kind of being the boss. But yeah, they are getting married, and I think at the end their relationship is pretty happy. But it's interesting to play a character that, like, I feel like so much of her identity comes from like her experiences that are not a part of the play at all. So yeah, that's been cool, kind of trying to figure out how to shape a character where I know very little about her past, and she's kind of just been transported into the world of Athens and a part of this court community. That's
cool. Yeah, that it is. It's one of those where, as an actor, it's a real chance for you to kind of delve into your imagination and in that process of creating their background and their story, which is a lot of, can be both daunting, but also a lot of fun, right? Sure. Have a lot of license. And obviously it's a collaboration where, we talk as director and actor and stuff, but yeah, you brought some great stuff to it. Anushka, talk a little bit about your character and kind of the ones who are around with you in this show.
Yeah, okay, so I play Dimitri. Oh wait, am I frozen?
No, you're a little flicky. It's okay.
No. Okay. I played Demetrius, one of the lovers in the play. And so my whole thing is that I'm originally in love with Hermia, but Hermia and Lysander are kind of a thing already. And I have the approval of Hermia's dad. So, you know, like I'm supposed to marry Hermia. However, Helena is in love with me. So it's this whole weird, complicated love square. But by the end of the play, Demetrius has this love potion put on him, and he falls in love with Helena, and Lysander and Hermia stay together, and even though in the middle Lysander was in love with Helena. But in the end, it all kind of works out, and it ends up really great for all of us. Yes, major spoiler alert. You didn't read it in 8th grade, maybe.
Right.
So sorry for spoiling the play.
There's still tricks and things to be checked out, though. So, you know.
Definitely.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to play a little bit of the court here. And then, oh, wait, let me get back to where I'm at. Sorry. Hold, please. Just one second. One thing you've talked about, actually, while I'm finding this, Anushka and Ali and well, I guess Anushka and Ali, you can talk a little bit about. We've alluded to people fall in love with people, but there's something that goes on with that, right? Very special in this. Can you talk a little bit about that just a second?
Yes.
Yeah, Ali, do you want to explain?
Yeah. So there's a flower that apparently, when Cupid was trying to shoot Queen Elizabeth, he hit this flower. So now the flower is enchanted with this like love potion that you can put on someone's eyelids when they're sleeping, and it makes them fall in love with whatever they see first. So in the instance of, spoiler alert, I forgot the character's name, Tanya and Bottom, Oberon puts the potion into Tanya's eyes so he can get the changeling boy from her. And the first thing she sees when she wakes up is Bottom with a donkey head. So there's that relationship. It gets kind of twisty when we get to the Athenians, so our Demetrius and Lysander, because Puck and Robin put the love potion on the wrong guy's eyes. And they destroy one relationship, and so we have to take the love potion off of Lysander. But I put love potion on Demetrius as Oberon, and it never gets taken off, which is kind of a loose end in the story that doesn't really make sense. But that's kind of a little bit of the like magic of the fairy bros. There's this purple flower that will make people fall in love with each other, that we use to both like help relationships in the case of the Athenians, but also kind of with Oberon to get what he wants, which is the changeling boy. He uses the love potion to distract Titania from protecting the boy so he can get his new henchman.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, the whole Demetrius thing is a bit of a, yeah, having done this play many times before, that's always something that is curious to talk about and to think about. Because, you know, in some ways they're setting things right, the fairies are, because in the end we want Demetrius and Helena to get together. But at the same time, there is that whole question of, is he being manipulated beyond his will or what? So I actually was in a production where we played it that Demetrius woke up as Puck was putting the flower on Lysander, and Puck had to like do something to him, and it like changed him. And then when he woke up, he actually decided, you know what, I actually really do love Helena. And I don't know that we fully communicated it very clearly to the audience, but that's what we were trying to do, because we wanted to have, Demetrius was very adamant about wanting to have his own free will in the choice. Cool. All right, let's go to another clip here now that I've got it all loaded up. So this is our court. Music. Go Sheltons. Ah, the Shelton boys.
Gentle spectators, all, we welcome you here to our fair Athens, where Theseus is Lord, and often bears a weight, a serious brow, sad, high, and working, full of state and woe. But turn the glass and give the scene more growing, to speak of Hippolyta, warrior queen, fierce in battle, she slayed our duke's great heart, and he devoutly dotes to win her love. Friends, we call you here to witness 2 my two monarchs, preparing here to wed. Most gracious sovereigns, many happy days and nights filled with dreams of joy soon to come.
Now, my Hippolyta, our nuptial hour draws on apace. 4 happy days brings in a new moon, but oh, methinks how long this old moon wanes.
4 days will quickly steep themselves in night. 4 nights will quickly dream away the time, and then the moon, like to a silver bow new bent in heaven, shall behold the night of our solemnities.
Go, my friends, stir up the Athenian youth to merriments. Awake the pert and nimble spirit of mirth. Hippolyta, I wooed thee with my sword and won thy love doing these injuries. But I will wed thee in another key, with pomp, with triumph, and with reveling.
Cool. Nice. Woohoo. Hands there. And for those of in the audience, those are 3 of our Landon gentlemen who are also joining us for the show. We have Gavin, who was playing Theseus, and then Thomas and James Shelton, who are the sons, actually, of Miss Eileen Shelton, who's our 3rd grade teacher, or one of our 3rd grade teachers. So, and those guys are a lot of fun. Miss Zatelli and I have had them in a couple of shows over here in the middle school, and it's fun to have them up in the upper school now. Cool. Brielle, you have any responses to seeing your bit?
Oh, that was super weird, but it really, I liked it. It made me laugh and smile. It was very cute. I love the backgrounds. We all look very regal.
Yeah, you do, and the costumes. Like again, not to toot my wife's horn, but I will. You all look really kind of amazing in these different boxes that we have. As we're trying to figure this thing out. So it's great. Let me show a lovers scene here just quick. Share my screen again and go here. And I'll go back and we'll do this. Are you guys seeing that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh. I love thee not, therefore pursue me not. Where is Lysander and fair Hermia? The one I'll slay, the other slayeth me. Thou toldst me they were stolen in this wood, and here I am, enwoed within this wood, because I cannot meet my Hermia.
Mr. Robinson?
Yeah.
Follow me no more.
We can't actually see it. We can just see the.
Oh, let me try another way. Maybe I'm doing the wrong way. Sorry, technical issue. Let me do this. Actually, we'll try it this way.
And action.
How about now?
I love thee not, therefore pursue me not.
Good. This
Are
works.
you guys seeing it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Where is Lysander and fair Hermia? The one I'll slay, the other slayeth me. Thou toldst me they were stolen in this wood, and here I am, enwoed within this wood, because I cannot meet my Hermia. Hence, get thee gone, and follow me no more. You draw me, you hard-hearted adamant, but yet you draw not iron, for my heart is true as steel. Do I entice you? Do I speak you fair, or rather do I not in plainest truth tell you I do not, nor I cannot love you? And even for that do I love you the more. Tempt not too much the hatred of my spirit, for I am sick when I do look upon thee, and I am sick when I look not on you. You do impeach your modesty too much, to leave the city and commit yourself into the hands of one that loves you not, to trust the opportunity of night and the ill counsel of a desert place. It is not night when I do see your face, therefore I think I am not in the night, nor does this wood lack worlds of company, for you in my respect are all the worlds. I'll run from thee and hide me in the brakes, and leave thee to the mercy of wild beasts. The wildest hath not such a heart as you. Run when you will, the story shall be changed. Apollo flies and Daphne holds the chase. I will not stay thy questions, let me go. Or, if thou follow me, do not believe, but I shall do thee mischief in the wood. Aye, in the temple, in the town, the fields you do me mischief. Fie, Demetrius, your wrongs do set a scandal on my set. We cannot fight for love as men may do. We should be wooed, and we're not made to woo. I'll follow thee, make a heaven of hell, to die upon the hand I love so well. Fare thee well, nymph, ere he do leave this grove. Thou shalt fly him, and he shall seek thy love.
Cool. Yay! Anushka, you want to say anything?
So weird. So I like literally have to echo what everybody else is saying. That was the weirdest thing ever. But it was kind of nice. Like I don't really know what I'm doing when I'm acting. So like seeing it is pretty cool. So.
Yeah, I'm actually curious because I've been directing this and I directed some theater stuff over the summer, but I have yet to actually act on Zoom. So I would love to hear from you guys what this experience has been like, where you're acting by yourself in your room and not seeing necessarily what's going on the screen. Anybody have any impressions or, yeah, go ahead, Allie, and then Joe.
It's definitely a weird experience. I don't know about anyone else, but for me, when I am acting, I definitely feed off of other people's energies. And like when you have an audience in front of you, you get a certain energy from them. And that can really help kind of boost the general energy of the scene and keep things moving. So I would say that there's a challenge with that of trying to like keep my energy up and keep myself kind of going through all of the shooting and the rehearsals well. Like before we end up doing a take, it can be kind of hard to keep that energy up, but also like know what I'm doing in relation to the people around me is kind of tricky, especially when we get into like looking certain ways or exiting off certain sides, because like I see my camera as it is, but someone else sees it mirrored, and there's a whole like mirroring question. So which way do you go? Where do you look? Because the order is different on everyone's screen. So that has definitely been a challenge. I will say it is nice to be able to do multiple takes. And we have definitely had a lot of bloopers of like forgetting lines or like how to just talk in general.
Right, or backdrops like in the middle of a scene, just and then
spilling water.
Spilling water, yeah.
Brielle had a couple water.
Yeah. For those of you out in the public, yes, there will be a bloopers reel. There will be an outtake reel that will happen at some point. I can't promise it will be available by Saturday because I have to have it play first. But yes, I will put it, once I get an outtake reel, I'll put it up on the YouTube and I'll share it out with the masses. Because it will be fun to watch because we have had some silly things. Yeah, Brielle.
We have a lot of outtakes.
One thing about filming on Zoom and not performing live on stage is that like before a show, there's usually so much energy like coursing through the cast and everyone's all pumped up. But for recording, it's like, you know, I go home at 6 o'clock after a long day and like dance after school. And then I get home and I put on my costume by myself. It's just like such a different energy. You have to, I don't know, we try to hype ourselves up by doing our like shakedowns and some like physical and voice warm-ups, but it's definitely very different in that way where the energy is like, you really have to produce it all within yourself. It doesn't come from other people or an audience or the excitement of going on stage. It's like, you know, you have to find the will within yourself to create it.
Yeah, oh, totally. But I mean, I am so grateful to all of you for bringing that energy to this process and bringing the commitment because you guys are doing it and it's amazing. Joe, I'm sorry, I skipped you. Go ahead.
No problem. I was just sort of like adding on. I did like some stuff over the summer and I noticed that at first I was like really hypercritical of everything because I was like watching myself do it. Like literally, like I was like had the screen right in front of me and could see everything that I was doing, and it like looks weird when you're so close up as well. Like seeing everything you're doing, and I just felt so strange like yelling alone in my basement and like things like that. It's just like weird to get used to not only like the energy of other people but also what it feels like to just be like completely by yourself and like watching yourself and like listening to yourself. And I think that that's just like something that doing it more has gotten me more used to, that you are sort of in your own little bubble but you just have to be like fully engaged with the people on the screen, otherwise you'll just be thinking about everything that you're doing too much.
Yeah, totally. And it's kind of, it's an interesting like morph because in some ways what we're doing is film acting, right? I mean, it's like camera work, but at the same time, even then it's not the same because usually when you're filming a film, you have actual camera people and other actors in the room with you, as opposed to where we're doing this completely kind of new thing in this respect. Anushka, go ahead.
Kind of just to add on to Brielle's point, I found myself like missing Tech Week when I would literally complain about it like weeks before. I would be like, oh my God, I have to stay at school till like 10 p.m. Literally, no, I miss it so much. And I miss the environment of like being around my peers and like going to the dining hall at like 5 p.m. to eat dinner. Like it was really good times and I really miss it. So like finding that motivation and like that energy, as Brielle was saying, is difficult. But like on the positive side, I've noticed like personally, I used to get like really nervous before shows and I would like literally be like, oh my God, I can't do it. I'm gonna forget everything. But I find that feeling like not occurring. So yeah, I mean, that's a plus, I guess, but I miss it a lot and I miss in-person theater.
Yep, I hear that. Campbell.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think especially doing Tech Week, like you're complaining and like it's hard to do, but you're doing it with other people and with your friends and you're all kind of like suffering together. So it's not really suffering. It's kind of just spending a lot of time with people you love, doing something you love. So
I'm gonna cry, Kim.
Yeah, so that's it's it's hard to sort of go from that to this, but it also, the way that you did it, Mr. Amundsen, was so easy and like it made everything just run so smoothly.
Thank you. I do what I can. And, you know, again, I have to say, I know it's weird and I'm right there with you, but at the same time, I am so happy that we are able to do something, that we live in a time where there's this technology and possibility to continue creating this art. And I'm so glad that you have all joined me on this journey. It's awesome. AJ, you had something you wanted to say.
Oh yeah, well, this wasn't about acting, of course, but I was agreeing with Anushka because I also missed Tech Week a lot this time around. I mean, mostly because when we did line notes, this might sound cruel, but like sometimes I like giving out line notes because like the actors can be, you know, I specifically remember Rodrigo in the Marvel One Acts. Like every time he would mess up on his lines, he'd be like, no, please do not put it down. And I just like stare at him and write his name down in the book. It was a fun time, but
well, go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, I kind of miss that, and also the simplicity of like talking with my fellow stage managers during rehearsal and not just sitting in silence and staring at a screen.
Yeah, and I have to, right here, this is a perfect segue. I want to shout out to the tech crew that has been helping me with this along the way, because, you know, it is a completely different world and I didn't know how this was going to work for stage managers and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm sure that there are things that you've learned. I certainly have learned a lot just through this process, but I'm hugely grateful to you and to Sarah War and to Jesse Israel and TD Dematitis, Theodore Tematitis, who's our Landon contingent. He's our assistant stage manager who came in and we didn't have a whole lot for him to do. Sorry, TD, but you know, we did employ him definitely when we were working off book. And you guys have been a huge help. I mean, you know, it's been great. And then I also have to put a shout out to the people who are now really helping me, my editors, which is Elizabeth Price and Iman Syed and Emma Click, who are helping me piece all of this video footage together and edit it, which is the other part of this whole thing. Is now that we have all this footage, I have to make it into a thing. And this is a whole different part that we don't usually deal with in this world when we're doing, you know, on stage productions. And so I'm hopeful that it's going to be, you know, pretty cool and you guys are going to appreciate it out there. Awesome. And then Joe and Lucy, last but not least, let's talk about your characters and show a little clip of your folks. Who are you guys in the play and what do you do?
Sure. So we're both in the mechanicals group, which is in the actors who are putting on the play within a play. Yeah, I don't know, Lucy, do you want to say more about like the group in general?
Sure. So I play Peter Quince, who we've kind of interpreted as kind of a guy who's put together this group of community theater actors and is trying to put on a lovely play about Pyramus and Thisbe, who are two characters from Greek mythology. And so they're all kind of from different groups of life, and so it's kind of a ramshackle group thrown together to do this play for Theseus and Hippolyta's wedding. And they're very excited because they have this great script, and they're trying to do rehearsals and kind of make a performance out of this.
Yep.
Yeah, and I play Bottom, who's very full of himself. Like he's like very like theater kid energy. Like really just
you all don't know anything about that, right?
He's very much like thinks he knows everything, thinks he has like the supreme voice over everyone, even though Peter Quince is the actual director, and just thinks that he's like the best actor who's ever done anything in the history of acting. Cool. But yeah, it's a lot of fun because we get to we have our regular characters, and then we also have our characters within Pyramus and Thisbe. And so that's definitely been fun to have like both of those that we all get to work on together.
Yes, and there you not to bury the lead, but you guys are definitely the comic relief in some respect for the show. Not that the show needs comic relief, but you are our clowns, as it were. So I'll show the opening scene here from that group. And this actually, little FYI, is one of our first edited pieces. So there's actual full editing in this one in terms of music and everything. Come on. You guys seeing that? Maybe.
Yes,
I see it. It's
like loading, but oh yes, there it is.
Is all our company here?
You're best to call them generally, woman and man, according to the script.
Here is the scroll of everyone's name, which is thought fit through all Athens to play in our interlude before the Duke and Duchess on their wedding day at night.
First, good Peter Quince, say what the play treats on, then read the names of the actors, and so grow to a point.
Mary, our play is the most lamentable comedy and most cruel death of Pyramus and Thisbe.
Very good piece of work, I assure you, and a Mary. Now, good Peter Quince, call forth the actors by the scroll. Masters, spread yourselves.
Answer as I call you. Nick Bottom.
Ready! Name what part I'm for and proceed.
Nick Bottom, you are set down for Pyramus.
What is Pyramus? A lover or a tyrant?
A lover that kills himself most gallant for love.
That will ask some tears in the true performing of it. If I do, let the audience look to their eyes. I will move storms. I will condole in some measure. To the rest. Yet my chief humor is for a tyrant. I can play Heracles rarely. The raging rocks, the shivering shocks shall break the locks of prison gates. This was lofty. Now name the rest of the players. This was Heracles' vein, a tyrant's vein. However, is more condoling.
Francis Flute. Here, Peter Quince. Flute, you must take Thisbe on you. What is Thisbe? A wandering knight? It is the lady that Pyramus must love. Nay, let me not play a woman. I have a beard growing.
Oh, and I may hide my face. Let me play Thisbe too. I'll speak in a monstrous little voice. Oh, Thisbe, Thisbe. Ah,
must play Thisbe's mother. Tom Snout? Here, Peter Quince. You, Pyramus's father. Myself, Thisbe's father. Snug, you, the lion's part. Patches and Sweet will provide ambiance and tone. And I hope here is a play fitted.
Cool. We'll stop there because I don't want to give away all the fun stuff. Also, by the way, I want to apologize to Amanda Phillips on the YouTube. Apparently, the screen of the Zoom is right over her face. So I'm sorry, Amanda, but that'll just mean people have to come and watch the actual show so they can see her amazing performance because she's awesome. So yes, bye, Emma. Good to see you. Emma's got to run away to get tested.
Bye. Thank you.
So,
come watch the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. We only have a couple more minutes anyways, but I want to get Joe and Lucy's reaction to getting to see themselves perform. Apparently AJ has something to say first.
I'm sorry. I just remembered I also have COVID tested.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, AJ. It's good to see you as well. Come see the show, everybody. Lucy and Joe, share your reactions with us.
Like everyone said, it was weird. But it was fun to watch, especially because while we're filming it, it's kind of hard to fully watch what everyone else is doing. And so it was exciting to see how it all looked as one screen with everyone on there together, and to see everyone else's reactions when we were all reacting to different things, because usually I'm just focused on what I'm doing in the moment. Mm-hmm. But it was exciting to sort of see the whole group together.
Totally. Lucy?
I would second that. I think it's also a little weird because of the way Zoom films things. If you're moving very quickly, there's a lot of blurriness and stuff, and I didn't realize that was happening, but now I know. And I also thought it's really fun to see all the little reactions that you don't catch, because not everyone is on your little bar that you have at the top there. And so, I couldn't see anything Talia was doing, and I noticed Talia was gasping in certain parts, and that made me laugh. So I thought that was
fun. In some ways, I feel like this is going to be a show that, I will see it multiple times because I'm working into editing, but you could go through and you could watch different boxes each time and get a whole completely different experience, because there's all these different reactions happening and you don't necessarily catch them all the first time you watch it through. Because there was even one just right now that I got, I think it was Talia too, that I hadn't seen when we were filming it, and I haven't watched this clip enough, and the first time I caught that I was like, oh, that was hilarious. And then there was one, actually, Joe, I think you did one too. Not that Joe isn't hamming things up like crazy throughout this whole scene, but I'm also really impressed just at the comic timing, because comedy is way hard, and a lot of people don't know how hard it is to get things to time right to really be funny, and you two have been putting in great work and listening as we're filming to make it really kind of play together, which is really it's awesome. It's great to see.
The other thing I wanted to say was, I think it's funny that we kind of haven't seen our parts of the show, even though we've been acting in them. So right. It's we've never seen the whole show, and even though, because normally with Tech Week you'd watch everyone else do their scenes and you get a sense of what the whole thing looks like. But with this, it's really okay, I know my perspective from one side of the camera of this, of these scenes. And then it's kind of watching the whole show for the first time, as if you were almost never in it. It's really kind of strange.
Yeah, and I'm so excited I'm excited to see it myself. I'm excited for you guys to see it, and I'm excited for all of you out there who are watching right now, and your friends and your family and everybody that you want to share this with, to see it, because it is you guys have been working on your parts and you've seen your things, and there's been some rehearsals where people have been in and they're watching what's going on while it's recording, but yeah, none of you have seen the entire thing. I think I'm the only one who has seen the entire thing, and even then, like I said, there's things I haven't even seen because there's so much going on the screen at the same time. Cool. All right, well, we have just 1 or 2 more minutes. Does anybody have any parting questions, comments, anything like that? No?
To all of you, I have one thing to say.
Yeah.
To all of you that say,
oh, no.
And thank you so much. I know that this play is going to be really, really cool. And I really hope that you guys watch and encourage your family members to watch with you, and tell your friends to watch too, because I know that all of us worked really, really hard. And yeah, please come support the arts. Thank you.
And the YouTube link will be live on Saturday at 7 p.m. but it will stay, so it's something that people can go back and watch again. But we really would love to have you join us for the premiere on Saturday, if you can. And if you can't, please come back and watch the show from the same YouTube link at your own leisure, at your own time. So thank you all for joining me. Oh yeah, Brielle, go.
I was just going to say, I think that this is such a fun opportunity to see theater in a way that we've had to make it work with COVID, and you may not ever have the opportunity again to see a show kind of in this style or format. So I really encourage everyone to watch it. It's going to be really funny, and yeah.
Cool, and beautiful, and magical, and all those things. Cool. Well, thank you all so much. It was wonderful chatting with you guys. I love this too. I love this forum. I love hanging out with you people. And I hope that, even after the show is done, because I do know that we're all missing those connections that we get through Tech Week, that, we will continue finding ways as those folks and bring in new folks that might want to do drama. Please join us, because there will be a winter play, and Miss Atelier and I are working on it. We'll figure something out. And I know Ms. Gersh over at Landon is wanting to do something in the spring, and we're going to figure out how that's going to happen too. So yeah, come and play with us. And those of you who are old players, we look forward to seeing you more, and come and see the show on Saturday. So thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.